What do you think about all the stuff that hits the news with these things going in the water and coming out? And
You walk in a skiff and they're like, oh, hey, actually, there's fucking aliens. Here's the frequency. And you're like, what is the government building in the oceans?
it's all, oh, that's classified. That's classified too.
I wish they were cooler because, again, I want to see like Emperor Alien.
All right.
But why did Russia go silent in 2010?
Do you think there's aliens out there? You'd mentioned that. I wasn't going to go there, but hey, you brought it up. What do you think?
I hope there's aliens. Do I think so? Here is the sad truth that I think I'm coming to more the realization that may exist. I think there's got to be other intelligent life forms in the universe. There is too many stars. There's too many galaxies to statistically not have that be a case. I don't know if we can communicate with them or ever reach them. I don't know if physics will ever allow us to travel faster than light. And I have seen no convincing evidence that we can. And so because of that, I actually come up with this really sad scenario, which is, yeah, I think there are other civilizations out there. And I think we'll never have confirmed proof that they ever exist because we either cannot communicate with them or cannot travel to them in any way, shape, or form. And so I hope we're able to break that down. I hope I'm incorrect. I hope somebody listening is like, oh, this guy's an idiot. And here's the solution to that. And we can go travel faster than light because we all see it in sci-fi movies. And it's what makes every sci-fi movie work. Yet it's one of the few things we don't have a theory on. And so that's I think is the cold hard reality of the universe. I do think there is life in our own solar system. I don't think there's intelligent life in our solar system. I'm pretty convinced that we're going to find microbes or signs of life on some of these moons, especially around Jupiter, and some of these other places in the universe. Like there's got to be. It just doesn't make sense for there not to be. We've already seen the signs of it. But again, the limitation, Shawn, is that we send these really expensive missions out. And if you're going to go be a scientist, you're probably not going to write like, please fly my instrument that will detect aliens. You're going to say like, oh, I want to detect the building blocks of the universe on this planet. And that doesn't always correspond with like, can you see microbes? I hope that some of the missions we do in the future are going to do that, are actually going to be so low cost that they can go have, I don't know, microbe detection instruments on them that we can send out and land on Mars or some of these other planets, right? That's the future I want to see created.
What evidence have we found?
Oh, God, you're
we
asking
found
me to
water.
go back through it. We found amino acids, right? We found some of the building blocks of life. We found, water on Mars, right? That's been a big one that we've come across. It's crazy. We've looked at Mars so many times, and like you're seeing these discoveries now, and it kind of makes you take a step back and realize like, we think of Mars, at least I think of Mars as this little tiny thing in space that we've explored. And like the reality is, oh no, we haven't explored it at all. Like we barely scratched the surface of what is on Mars, and finding water, finding ice is these huge discoveries that we've been going to Mars for 50 years. And we just now figured this out. Like what else are we missing? What else haven't we seen? We haven't gone subsurface. You know, we have these moons that we think are completely frozen and they have liquid water underneath them. Like, is there fish? Is there things swimming around down there? I don't know, but I really, really hope we get the chance to go figure it out and find out.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I mean, what do you think about all the, the stuff that hits the news with these gravitic propulsion systems and things going in the water and coming out and all these sightings? What do you think? I love talking.
You know, if you
about
would
this
have
stuff.
looked at the A-12 or what became the SR-71, right, in the 1960s, what would you have chalked it up as? Because I would have said like, holy shit, there's aliens. Like, what is this thing? It's going Mach 3. It looks like this thing we've never ever seen. What's happening? And what you realize is like, that actually isn't aliens. That was humans, right? That was Skunkworks and Kelly Johnson that built that. And it was physics that dictated that design. And I think what we've forgot is that we keep in our brain extenuate that out to like, well, what's the SR-72? In fact, we've seen advertisements for the SR-72, and it looks like a plane we can all recognize. We can all draw the lineage from that to this. What we haven't looked at is like, well, what are governments, and I don't even mean our government, right? This could be China, this could be Russia, this could be us, this could be any developing nation that's pushing the envelope. Like, we're all focused on air. I don't think air matters anymore. We've seen satellites kind of dominate our ability to get data. We don't really need reconnaissance aircraft anymore. What is the government building in the oceans? What are they building that goes in and out of the oceans? Like, are these just man-made objects that are classified and we don't have access to? Probably. That's probably the most likelihood thing of what we're going to see there from a probabilistic standpoint. Do I really hope they're like little aliens that are going to come and all of a sudden, like, come out with their little guns, like, Mars Attack style, and like, fuck yeah. But I find it really hard to extrapolate to that. And also, Put yourself in the shoes of an alien. If you came to a planet with a civilization on it that you could just dominate through a will of force, what would you do, Shawn? Would you go hide in the ocean?
I don't know what I would do.
I'd tell you what I would do. I'd become the fucking emperor of the world, and it would be sick. That's what I would do, right? Like I would say, all you people are now dominant. Like I dominate all of you. I got better technology. I'm gonna at least be known. I'm not gonna go hide in the middle of the Pacific where there's not even anything in the middle of the Pacific. Like what a boring place to go. So it just doesn't make sense to me, right? I can't connect the dots that these are actual aliens coming here.
Maybe we're an experiment and they're just monitoring.
That'd be a cool outcome, right? Like I hope there is intelligent life, and I hope that is what's going on. It's this hard thing where until we have evidence, it's really hard to draw any delineation here to anything special happening. And you got to have extraordinary evidence to make extraordinary claims.
Mm-hmm.
And I just haven't seen any extraordinary evidence to suggest that anything is here other than some like shitty video showing some things move in ways that we can't describe. And I think those are really cool to study. I think you can do calculations to figure out like, oh, actually humans can't be in there. They would be killed by gravity, right? Like G-forces are too high if we do this. And you can do math on these and kind of get a sense of what's going on and how we do this. But let's be honest, the F-22 was essentially handcuffed because pilots can't handle the G-forces in it. And that was what went into service in 1994. I think started its development in the late 70s. You're telling me that like, oh, all of a sudden after 1994, we're just like, okay, cool. We can beat G-forces on the human body on airframes now. We're just going to stop development. Like I could just extrapolate it out and say 30 years later, yeah, that probably went up even more. And maybe some of these G-forces we can calculate are now realistic with some of the propulsion techniques we're using. I don't know. There's a whole bunch of new propulsion techniques out there that there's one that I've looked at a lot. It's called a rotating detonating engine, or RDE. There's a couple companies now building them, which is pretty awesome. I love to see this. Russia did a whole bunch of publications here until 2010 and then stopped.
What is it?
It's a very special type of engine that allows you to get, theoretically, it uses a totally different, instead of using combustion, it uses detonation. So you can get much more efficiency out of the same fuel sources going into it. Best way to put it is you could take something like a Falcon 9 and by replacing the engine with one of these RDEs, make it lift as much mass as a Falcon Heavy, right? So you can essentially make a rocket much, much better by using these engines. It's a long extrapolation. There's a lot of questions to them. There's a lot of physics to still be figured out. But why did Russia go silent in 2010? Like, did they just give up on developing it? Maybe. Or did they make some breakthroughs that they didn't want to release anymore that now enables these type of technologies to exist, right? Hypersonic missiles are a big thing that we're looking at with RDEs. There's a lot of cool things you can draw from this that don't require you to believe in aliens. As much as I want to, Shawn, I find it hard to believe they exist. And if they did, God, I wish they were cooler because, again, I want to see like Emperor Alien.
I don't know. I'm leaning towards no. They don't exist. I've interviewed a bunch of people about this stuff, and it's all, oh, that's classified too, this, that, and it's like, all right. So nobody really knows anything.
So much of what is classified is not like, it's not like you get a clearance and all of a sudden you walk in a skiff and they're like, oh, hey, actually there's fucking aliens and they fly these ships. They're like, you walk in there and they're like, here's the frequency. And you're like, that's it? Like, what are we talking about here, right? Like, this is not how it works. And I think movies have really turned our brain to think there's some Area 52 where they have element 114 and like, I love all that. I think they're awesome to go explore. And you got to go explore whenever you hear new things like this. It just doesn't make sense to me though. And understanding how the government works, like, I'm sorry. The government is one of the most inefficient things I've ever seen operate. And usually everything that comes out, like, we got the signal messages from the Secretary of Defense. They couldn't even hide that. You're telling me that we're going to go hide like secret alien aircraft underneath a mountain and nobody's going to leak this? Please. I can't draw that conclusion.
I'm with you. No matter where you're watching Shawn Ryan Show from, if you get anything out of this, please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, share this everywhere you possibly can. And if you're feeling extra generous, please leave us a review on Apple and Spotify podcasts.